Erik Ten Hag got his teenage kicks as two of Manchester United's brightest young talents inspired their side to a surprise FA Cup final win over Manchester City. With pre-match reports indicating that Ten Hag, who could only guide his side to an 8th-placed finish in the Premier League this season, will be sacked this summer regardless of the result at Wembley, United were an impressively organised outfit in the opening exchanges, and they took the lead after half an hour following a mix-up between Stefan Ortega and Josko Gvardiol, which allowed Alejandro Garnacho to score. A superb team move led to Kobbie Mainoo slotting home a brilliant second before the break, with a sluggish City left punch drunk. Erling Haaland hit the bar for Pep Guardiola's side early in the second half, but United held firm until Jeremy Doku's effort squirmed past Andre Onana in the 87th minute. Roared on by their fans, United survived the remainder of normal time and 7 minutes of stoppage time to secure an unlikely success and deny City the league and cup double a season on from their historic treble. Here are the game's main talking points from a thrilling Wembley occasion. Man City not so slick in damaging slow start. The game quickly took on the type of pattern that we all thought it would, with City dominating possession and United happy to allow them to do just that, but then a curious thing happened. We all saw Manchester City be not very good at football. Passes were going astray and a tone was set by a side which looked remarkably weary. Guardiola would have wanted his side to exert control and dominance on this game without necessarily expanding too much energy, for they haven't really got that much left after a grueling season, but City were sucked into a disciplined United trap and they very quickly began to get down on themselves. Ideas were scarce, arms were thrown into the air and a suited and booted Guardiola would have heard the alarm bells on the touchline. A defense and midfield united. Even though they had started poorly, City would have thought that they would eventually wear United down, but with their first-choice centre-back pairing playing behind a more mobile, cohesive midfield, United looked extremely organised, and it was that organisation which allowed them to gain a foothold in the game as they gained confidence. There were a couple of occasions when they could have sprang in behind a wobbling, high City line, while their pressing from the front was on point too as Ortega looked hurried. Moments later the goalkeeper and Gvardiol got in their almighty mess, with Garnacho taking advantage, and while there was a large slice of fortune about the goal, it was a reward for the disciplined approach United took against a side who probably expected that discipline to be absent. One of the great FA Cup final goals. Bruno Fernandes found Mainoo, who then found Marcus Rashford on the left. Rashford's superb, raking pass picked out Garnacho. He found Fernandes on the edge of the box and the skipper, having already clocked where Mainoo was earlier in his run, superbly found the young midfielder without looking at him, and Mainoo finished expertly. For footballers, 13 touches of the football, one magnificent goal. It was a strike that deserves a special place in FA Cup and Manchester United folklore, with Mainoo capping his excellent season by becoming just the 4th teenager to score in a final, 9 minutes after Garnacho had become the 3rd. A reminder that for all United's issues, a lack of exciting young players isn't one of them. More final woe for Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne is no stranger to leaving a final early. In the 2021 Champions League final he smashed into Chelsea's Antonio Rudiger and ended up withdrawn in tears due to concussion protocols, while 2 years later he only made it to the 36th minute against Inter Milan before suffering a hamstring injury. He went off before the hour mark again here, but he just wasn't very good. The Belgian's influence on this City side was clearly felt when he returned in such style for the second half of the season, but at 33 next month, and having been so vocal around player workload in recent years, you have to wonder just how much he's got left in the tank. City have seen a creative force step forward and become a main attacking weapon for them this season in the form of Phil Foden, although not here, and De Bruyne's ongoing influence on their team is becoming rationed. It isn't infinite though. A moment for Erik Ten Hag to savour. Whatever you think of him, and plenty of the things he comes out with don't exactly help his cause, you can't help but raise a smile and a glass for Ten Hag after this success. It must never be very nice to be told that you're going to lose your job on the eve of a day on the global stage, a day when many were confidently predicting that the Dutchman and his team would be embarrassed by their City neighbours. Where do United go from here then? Will he still be sacked? Who knows? It is no coincidence that Ten Hag's best United performances have come in matches in which his side aren't expected to keep possession and can break on their more technically gifted opponents. But that just isn't the football of Manchester United Football Club, is it? It's not the sort of thing they do. Winning the FA Cup is though, and whatever happens he'll always have this.